Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Quick blind battle beers. We're doing it. Miller Genuine Draft versus Miller High Life. Essentially, they're the same beer. The only difference is MGD is cold filtered. Miller High Life is pasteurized. Miller Genuine Draft originally was called Miller High Life Genuine Draft, and they changed the name to Miller Genuine Draft, I think, because it was just such a long name. Both 4.7%. It's the exact same beer. So I want to see if we can tell the difference between a beer that's pasteurized and one that isn't. I mean, that's really the only thing there, right? I don't know. So try not to make this too long. I've been trying not to make these blind taste tests too long. So I don't know what this looks like on camera, but these look the exact same. This beer has a little bit more lacing on it, the yellow glass, than the red glass, but both have barely any head left. They're both plenty of carb. Yeah, they're both just kind of straw yellow. This one might look darker because it has red writing on it or red text on it and a red video game, but they, from my vantage point, maybe this one's a hair darker, maybe. So let's see if these beers taste different. Why not? We just drank MGD, but if these taste and smell the same, like, it's not going to matter, right? Smells like beer. Smells bready. Crackery, weedy, not a massive aroma. Smells like American lager. Smells like beer. This one might be a touch sweeter, maybe. But neither of them are like super pungent. They're both just a faint kind of grassy hop thing. Maybe this one's a little sweeter. So this one's closer to me, so we'll start with this one. Cheers. I mean, I've drank Miller High Life so much, like, just instantly I'm like, oh, that's Miller High Life. Bright, spritzy, tiny bit of like beer bite on the finish of that, but it's very biscuity, malty. Yeah, maybe like a faint hint of grassy hops, refreshing, mild, super easy drinking. Interesting. This one doesn't have as much of that beer bite on the finish. And when I say beer bite, it's like whatever you think of or know of American macro beer flavor, like what you taste. I feel like when I say beer bite, like that's what I mean. Like you taste what what beer tastes like when you think of American macro lager. This one has more of that beer finish to it. Yeah, this one's a little bit more like intense is definitely not the word that you think of. Like this beer is not intense, but it has more of a full flavor, I think. I think this one's a little bit lighter tasting. Yeah, this one's more mild for sure. This one has more of like just that kind of intense beer flavor. I mean, come on, we are splitting hairs when it comes to these beers. Unless you're drinking them side by side, you can't go wrong with either one. They're both super easy drinking. They're mild. They're not offensive. They're just solid American macro lager. Macro lager. Like when you think about what American beer tastes like that's these beers. So if I were to prefer one, I think it's this one just because it has more of that beer flavor. Maybe a touch more sweetness too. It's really close though. Now that I just drank this one though. Should I be drinking water in between? These are water, aren't they? Yeah, this one definitely has a little bit more pop of flavor. So, drinking them side by side, I would prefer this one. But like I said, they're so close. Like, you can't go wrong with either one of them. So, I don't really have a guess. I mean, I just drank MGD and it wasn't really like full flavored beer, so it's not making me think that's MGD. Like I drank that one first and I'm like, oh, I've drank so much High Life in my life. Like instantly I was like, oh, that's Miller High Life. So you know what? Fuck it. We'll just go with our first instinct. I'll guess that this is High Life and this is Miller Genuine Draft. And it doesn't really matter if I'm wrong because it's the same beer. My youngest son says hi. He wrote, hi YouTube, shout out to me for pouring. So shout out to you for pouring. Let's see. Yellow is High Life, red is Genuine. So we got it right. I had mentioned when I reviewed Miller Genuine Draft that this beer is not readily available to me for whatever reason. I have a hard time finding it. I found a 6-pack of this at a random liquor store. So it just goes to show I really don't need to worry about like finding this now because I prefer this beer by, you know, just a little bit, just because it has a touch more flavor. I don't know why that is. This beer's pasteurized, so you'd think it would do something to the beer. Who knows the science, but this was the beer that I preferred. High Life beats MGD for me, but it's not like a huge margin of victory. Either one of these. If I walked into a store and they didn't have High Life and they had MGD, I would buy MGD. If I walked in and they had MGD and didn't have High Life or whatever, did I just say that? Vice versa. If one wasn't available, I'd buy the other. If they were both available, I would just buy whatever's cheaper. So there you go. Another blind battle beers in the books. High Life is the winner of this one. Doesn't smell like a whole lot though, but it tastes a little bit better. So that's why we do it. It's fun. These blind battle beers, I haven't been fired up about YouTube in a long time. This is really fun. So we'll keep doing these. I got a bunch more beers to battle against each other. So that's it. I'm out of here. Appreciate you guys watching. See you soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all